welcome back to another video and podcast from Fantasy Football Scout on Euro 2024. As the sun streams through my window, it's reminding me that Euro 2024 is kicking off in, 9-10 days time, something like that. All very exciting. Today we're going to be looking at, I'm still learning this stuff on YouTube. Do like and subscribe to the channel and all that sort of stuff. Leave comments. If you're listening on podcast, please leave a 5-star review. That would be amazing. You can follow me. My name is Ed at _fantasyed on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it. Today we're looking at chip strategy. Really important part of the game. You only get 2 chips. There's 7 match days and you can only play the chips in 5 of them. So when do you play them? It's really important to get that decision right because it informs how you pick your first team. So we're going to be looking at that today. I'll explain everything you need to know. Thank you to our sponsors, FANTEAM, for this video. I'll be telling you more about an amazing offer they've got for us. Free competition that they're running with prizes, cash prizes. We'll talk about that later in the video. But for now, let's get involved with chip strategy. So the first thing that we've got to make sure we understand is what the chips are and how many we've got. So we've got 2 chips to play in this game. If you watch my how-to video, you will know all about this. But just to recap, you'll see 2 random things on the screen. That basically, I'm going to represent the wildcard chip with the Joker there on the card, Joker card. And then the limitless chip is an infinity symbol. You'll see why I need these in a minute. But essentially, a wildcard, if you don't know, is when you get to make unlimited transfers, change your whole team with no penalty for points. You know, usually you can only have 3 transfers between the match days. If you do more, it's -4 points per time you do that. But with a wildcard, if you click that, you can change your whole team for free. You use it basically when you've got loads of changes to make or when it's all gone wrong and you just want to start again, right? So we get a wildcard chip, but we also get a limitless chip. Now, a limitless chip, you play that in a match day, and you can change everyone as many transfers as you want. But the players you bring in, first of all, they can be of unlimited value. So you could, the budget's 100 million euros. You could spend 200 million on your team, but it only lasts for 1 match day. And then the next match day, it reverts to the one previous. So say match day 1, you've got a team that's got triple England, Kane, Bellingham, Maguire. Match day 2, you play your limitless. You get rid of all those players. You bring in a whole new squad. It's absolutely packed to the rafters with expensive players because you can spend as much budget as you want. Great, you get a really good score, but then match day 3 comes along, you're back to that team that had Kane, Bellingham, Maguire, right? So you've got to do a little bit of planning if you're going to play that. But those are our 2 chips, okay? Now, let's have a look at what the options are for chip strategy in this game. Because typically, fantasy games, say, again, we always reference it, but it's the biggest fantasy game, so it's worth it. Fantasy Premier League, you've got 38 game weeks to play. Well, 4 chips, because you get a second wild card. But, so 1 chip every roughly 10 game weeks, 9 game weeks, In this, though, it's very different. So let's just get rid of these. And let's bring up, not that, let's bring up this. So here is how many match days we have in the tournament, okay? We've got 7. Match day 1, match day 2, match day 3, round of 16, quarterfinals, semi-finals, final. Right? Those are the match days. So there's 7 opportunities to pick a squad of 15 and get as many points as you can. 7 match days. Now, so you immediately think, okay, we've got two chips, and we've got to play them in one of 7 match days, right? Well, no, actually, because match day 1, you cannot play a chip. Because as we head into it, we've already got unlimited transfers. We're in that period now, aren't we? Heading up to match day 1. You can't play a chip in match day 1 because you've essentially played a wild card. Because we're all, right now we're tweaking our teams, aren't we? We're changing players here and there's no penalty, right? So we enter match day 1 having played essentially a wild card, which is just choosing our first team. So you can't play it on match day 1. So that leaves us 6 match days to choose from when we're playing our chips, 2 chips. Or does it? No, it doesn't actually, because we can't play either in match day 4, which is the round of 16, because then we have a free wildcard given to us between the group stages and the knockouts. Everyone gets a wildcard to play, which means in the round of 16, you can't play one of your chips, the other wildcard you've got that you can kind of have flexibility over, and the limitless. So suddenly, we've got a situation where we've got 2 chips to play, and we can only play them in one of 5 different places. Match day 2, match day 3, quarterfinals, semi-finals, and final. And when you feed into that the fact that the later you go through the tournament, the less and less teams there are going to be. I mean, it would be a bit odd, for example, to leave your Limitless to the final when there's only 2 teams and your budget's gone up and, you know, you're not going to be able to spend that. You know, you're not going to get the best out of having an unlimited budget because teams only have a certain amount of high, priced players. Even the semi-finals would be a bit odd. So then you're thinking, okay, well, Limitless quarterfinals, is that the latest you can really play that? But then where do you play the wild card? Because if you play it in match day 3, you're going to get a wild card anyway after match day 3. So do you have to play it in match day 2? So all of these things combine to create something that only has really 2, maybe 3 different options, viable options of a chip strategy. So it's not like I'm making a video going chip strategy for FPL where there's thousands of different, millions probably, of different combinations of chips you can, when you can play your chips, right? In this game, it is quite narrow. Now, in fact, just to show that, look, those 2 are gone. Those 2 aren't options, as we said. So the chip strategy, and okay, here we go. This is why I was doing this. So let's just get this, and I think I should be able to move this as we go. So I'm going to make this small. Question is, when are we going to play the wild card? I'll put it up here for now. And the question is, when are we going to play the Limitless? I'll put it here for now. And I'm going to look at a couple of options. Let's take a quick break and I'll come back and we'll actually, now we understand what we're doing and what the options are and how many options we have, which aren't many, we are going to come back and talk about when we should play these chips. Hello everyone, I just want to take a couple of minutes of your time to tell you about our sponsors for our Euro 2024 content. We're delighted to announce we are partnering with FANTEAM for the tournament, and FANTEAM are doing something amazing and seriously unique for our viewers. They are running a free tournament where there's a £2,000 prize pool and some additional prizes on offer as well that I'll talk about in a second. If you've never played FANTEAM, essentially it's fantasy football. It's the same where you can win cash prizes, you can pay money to play some games, but this one is free. It's basically the same idea as the Euro proper game, apart from you can't move your captain every day and your bench players will stay on the bench unless people don't play in your first team like FPL and then they get subbed on. The player prices are a bit different as well, but as we go through, please do click in the link below to sign up for an account. That's all you need to do to access this free game. Sign up by clicking the below, make an account. You don't need to deposit any money or anything like that, completely free. And the competition you'll see on there is actually passworded. It's the Beat the Pundits League. It's passworded, and the password is, don't tell anyone, Pundits 2024. Okay, Pundits 2024. Now, the winner will get £500, but there is a £2,000 prize pot. In fact, I'll put it on the screen now for those watching on YouTube. There, you see, you win prizes all the way down to 160th place, right? If you're 160th, you'll get £2. But that's not bad for a free tournament, right? But first place 500, second place 150, third place 100, and then it goes down, 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 down. Why not join? There's an absolute no-brainer to join. All you need to do is log into your FANTEAM account or create an account and join for free. Again, the password is Pundits 2024 for the Beat the Pundits League. Now, there is an additional incentive, however, because if you beat the Fantasy Football Scout Teams League, and we're going to have all our guys like looking at that and making sure that picks are right, we're going to do as well as we can. But if you beat us, and you'll know where we are in the table, by the way, because we have a little sign next to our name. If you beat us, you get a free month's premium subscription at Fantasy Football Scout. So every single team that beats us gets that. So why wouldn't you join? Completely free, £2,000 prize pool, and you can get a free month if you beat the Scout team. So do you back yourself? We're going to have to do well, aren't we? Do you back yourself? If you do, then sign up using the link below, and let's get this league full of people trying to beat the pundits. As always, this promotion is 18 plus only. And also, as always, please gamble responsibly. Okay, welcome back. Yeah, so let's talk about this chip strategy. Okay, so what are the different options? There is a train of thought, a school of thought in these games that says using your chips as early as possible is the optimal way. It's the most likely way you're going to get good points from them both, and you're not going to waste them or lose the efficacy of them, right? So, for example, I mean, that would be match day 2 and match day 3, right? So for now, let's just drag wildcard to match day 2 and limitless to match day 3, okay? So that would be that would mean essentially in the group stage, you've got a free hit kind of every week, because match day 1, you've played, your wild card up to that and chosen a team. You go into match day 2, you can pick a completely different team. And then you go into match day 3 and you can pick a completely different limitless team, with as much money as you want, and then you'd even get another wild card for the round of 16, and then you'd build that squad to take you through the knockouts. So at that point, I guess the idea behind that is, you've seen how teams are playing, you're seeing who's playing well, you're seeing who the surprises are, you're seeing who's scoring goals, you're seeing who's keeping clean sheets. So then you play your wild card, your free one that everyone gets between the group stage and the knockouts, and then you can, really have a bit of info building that squad for the knockouts, and just then deal with your team with the free transfers you get in the knockouts, which of course is a higher amount per match day. Between the quarterfinals and the semi-finals and the final, it's more than 3. I can't remember the exact number, but in the group stage, it's 3 transfers between them, and then it goes 4, 5, 6 or something like that. I can't remember. Anyway, so that would mean essentially the first 4 match days are all different teams, which is quite fun, right? You start the tournament and you get a really good start because every week you're doing something quite good. And that a lot of people played that in the last Euros. A lot of people have played that in Champions League version of this game is a little bit different because it's not 7 match days, because there's 6 in the group stage, so it's like 13 or something. But still, even then, people play the chips early on in the group stage. There's a little bit more at that point to think about, because is it match day 2, match day 3, match day 4, match day 5, match day 6 are all group stage games. But this is the Euros. There's only 3, so that is one option. Now, the difficulty with that is match day. If you played your wild card as it shows here, match day on match day 2. And you had a limitless match day 3. The issue with that, and this is before we even come to looking at fixtures, right? The issue with that is in match day 3, and you want to play limitless, which is going to get you all the best players, all the most expensive players, is if, say, France have already qualified, or England have already qualified, or Portugal, or Belgium, or whoever, their big players might get rested, or even they might start, but they might get brought off early because they want to get rested. So you get Harry Kane in, you got all these big budget players in, and either they don't start because the teams have already qualified, or they play limited minutes because they want to make sure they're fresh for the knockouts. So the ideal time to play the limitless is when teams have something to play for, when they're not going to be resting their big players, when they need to win, when they're not going to be, taking off, Mbappe after 55 minutes, that sort of thing. You want to play the limitless then. So if we're going to keep to this strategy of using them early on as possible, which we're going to for now, let's just swap that round then. So the wild card goes on to match day 3, and the limitless goes on to match day 2. Okay. So far, again, as I said, that is just through logic with, of what there is available. We've got to this, and we're going on the assumption that using them early is optimal. And we will talk about another strategy after this, but is optimal. So if you're going to do that, then you need to start looking at match day 2's fixtures. Okay. And in match day 2, in fact, if I get it up here, do you know what? I'll cut to this and get the match day 2 fixtures on screen. Hang on. Right. Okay. I've got the fixtures up here for match day 2. So, sorry, it's a bit clunkily done, but you can get the picture. I try to make it big because people have complained I'm putting things on the screen too small. So I don't want you to have to get your reading glasses. I'm sorry. So here you go. But look, match day 2. So this is where our limitless has fallen. Given the logic, now let's look at the fixtures. Does that work? What we're looking for, I suppose, is what I said earlier. Is there big teams who've got something still to play for, which you'd expect they would have in the second game? They're going to want to win that. They're not through yet. No one's through after the first game. And are they playing favourable fixtures? So are your Harry Kanes, your Mbappes, your Ronaldos, your Lukakus, your Bruno Fernandes, De Bruyne, whoever, right? Are they playing favourable fixtures? So let's have a look down. So, I mean, immediately, Germany-Hungary, right? Now, after the first game, maybe we'll get a bit of an insight into Hungary. I think they're going to be pretty decent. They were pretty decent back in Euro 2020. In fact, they played Germany in the group stage in Euro 2020 as well, I believe. And they drew. Everyone thought Germany would absolutely batter them. Didn't happen. So let's not assume again that Germany are going to do that. So far, Croatia, Albania. I mean, Croatia are an aging team. We don't know what they're going to be like yet. So that doesn't necessarily appeal too much for a limitless. Scotland, Switzerland. No, not really. Slovenia, Serbia. No, not really. Denmark, England. I mean, England playing Denmark. Could that be a moment to spend all your money on Kane and Mbappe and Kane and Bellingham and Foden or whatever? Maybe. Spain are playing Italy, and Italy are playing Spain, so that's their hardest fixture. So again, that kind of makes you think, okay, doesn't quite work. Slovakia, Ukraine. I mean, right? Poland, Austria, Netherlands, France. That's their hardest fixture as well. And France's hardest fixture of the group stage. So again, you're thinking, right, hang on. So far, match day 2 isn't looking good for limitless at all, is it? Because it's Holland, France, Spain, and Italy's hardest fixture of the group stage. Whereas you want to be backing them and getting their expensive players when they're playing much weaker opposition. Let's keep going, see if anything else stands out. Georgia, Czech Republic. Well, obviously anyone Georgia plays is going to be the favourites. Czech Republic, though, who are you going to pick? Portugal, Turkey. Turkey are a very decent team. They're not awful. Portugal are great, but again, that's not a really easy fixture. Belgium, Romania. Okay, they're there. There's finally one. Okay, but that pretty much is the only one. What you'd want to see, and maybe this tournament just doesn't have this, but what you'd want to see is, Portugal, Georgia, which is actually match day 3. Belgium, Romania. France, Austria or Poland. Netherlands, the other way around. Spain playing, not Italy. England playing. Well, England, Denmark is all right, isn't it? So it's basically fixtures wise doesn't look ideal for match day 2, but then you can't do it match day 1, of course. Match day 3, again, the issue is who is going to play. We will see the teams for these first 2 games because they're both at the same time, 8 o'clock. So before the deadline, we'll see the Germany team, the Switzerland team, the Scotland team, the Hungary team. But again, that's not too helpful for a Limitless. You could pick some Germany players, but that's it. The rest you'd have to guess. Are Spain going to be already through at that point against Albania and therefore not play their best players? Are Holland going to already be through? Are France going to already be through? Are England going to already be through? Are Belgium going to already be through? Are Portugal, look at that fixture, plum, Portugal versus Georgia. Are they already going to be through? And if they are, then, Ronaldo might get rested, Bruno Fernandes might get rested, Cancelo might get rested. So it's tricky to choose. Out of match day 2 and match day 3, they're both not looking great for Limitless. Match day 2 hasn't got the fixtures, and match day 3 is going to be so uncertain. So let's go back to the drawing board, okay? Let's go back. I'll be back in a second, and we're going to go back to the drawing board and see what else we can come up with. Okay, so here we are. We're back. We've still got the Limitless on match day 2 and the wildcard on match day 3, but I don't think I want to play my Limitless match day 2. Here's my point. I don't think the Limitless should be played in match day 2, and I'm it's the first time I've said that. I haven't seen anyone else's chip strategy yet, so I have no idea what they're thinking. But it's not for me, all right? And it's not for I don't want to play in match day 3 either, right? Which is going against what I'd normally do. Normally I'd play them in the group stages because there is something about doing it early. But as we've just seen, match day 2 fixtures aren't appealing, and match day 3 is too uncertain. Would I play a wild card into match day 3 to get like a free hit for that last game of the group stage before then getting another wild card into the knockouts? I would consider that. Because you could potentially, although you're still kind of guessing and stuff, if, usually when you get to the third game, you kind of know, okay, France aren't going to play their biggest players, so Limitless isn't great because, you're not going to get Mbappe or whatever. But for example, Giroud is going to play. Or you just know something. So you can play the wild card and rotate your team and things like that. So I would consider that. However, what I'm considering at the moment, I think, is we get the free wild card into the knockouts, don't we? Here, in this black space here. We get a free wild card after match day 3 for the round of 16. So with that wild card, the free one that everyone has, build a team for that round of 16. Then play the Limitless, that I'm just dragging here, in the quarterfinals, when there's still enough teams, and they will probably be good teams, where you're going to want to pick that they're going to want to win, so their best players are going to play, and there's still, what's the quarterfinals? That's 8 teams, isn't it? So you can get the best players from 8 teams and combine them with unlimited budget. But the issue is, at that point, isn't it? You go then to the semi-finals with the team that you made for the round of 16. So, if you then have saved the wild card and you didn't play at match day 3, you could then, I'm dragging the wrong thing here, hang on. You could then play the wild card to set yourself up for the semi-finals and the final. Now, this strategy is what I'm leaning towards, if I'm completely honest with you. I am leaning towards my first team that I build before the tournament starts, thinking of it as, I've got to keep this team for the whole group stage, rather than thinking of it as a free hit each game week for the first 4 game weeks. Now, will I therefore kind of fall behind a little? Maybe. But when it gets to that quarterfinal, when I'm playing a Limitless, and, you'd hope, the counter to this, isn't it, is that in the quarterfinals you expect all the teams to be good and they're all playing each other. But once it gets to those knockout stages, that's when big players come alive. That's when, you know, no one's holding back. That's when you've got it. It's make it or break it. There's no, there's no middle ground. So, and usually a couple of, teams that you don't expect still get to the quarterfinals. I mean, if it's 8 teams, who are the ones who are going to get there? I mean, England, France, Portugal, Belgium, Spain, Italy, maybe Germany, but Croatia. I mean, if it was those, and they're all playing each other, that would be a great quarterfinal. But always one of those drops out, 2 of those drop out, and don't perform as well as they could, and you end up with some plum fixtures in the quarterfinals. So, look, I'm leaning towards this at the moment. Can I be persuaded to do something different? Well, I think those are the 2 options, though. I don't see another option. I mean, please comment below if you think there is another option. By the way, please like and subscribe and click the like button. I always forget to say that. And give us a 5-star rating if you're listening on podcast as well. But I really don't think there's anything else. I mean, what else could you do? We've kind of discounted. Let's just drag these back here. So we've discounted really the Limitless 3. It's too uncertain, I think. Maybe I'll change my mind on that, but I think it's just too uncertain. Unless you're banking at that point on teams, the big teams not having been through by then and therefore having to play their strongest teams. But also, we've kind of discounted Limitless 2 because the fixtures just aren't there. So if it's not Limitless Matchday 2 and it's not Limitless Matchday 3, then the next option is the quarterfinals. And you're not going to play it in the semi-finals. That's too late on. There's only 4 teams to pick from. So it's only the quarterfinals you can put it in. Now, with the wild card, I think the wild card is dependent on where you play the Limitless a little bit. Because, as I said, if you play the Limitless in the quarterfinals, you're going to have to keep the wild card to then change your round of 16 team for the semi-finals. There's a big gap between them. Round of 16 is, 16 teams. It's a round of 16. And the semi-finals is 4. So you could get to the semi-finals, having played your Limitless, and go, oh, I picked from 16 teams before, and 8 of them... Is that right? 8? No, what? 16? And now I'm down to 4? Sorry, 12 of them are out. So you could have a whole squad that is out. Therefore, you'd need your wildcard. Right? So, look, it's tricky. Let's just do that one more time so I'm super clear. If you play your Limitless in the quarterfinal, which I'm leaning towards, I'm going to have to keep the wildcard for the semi-finals. Have to. There's just no question. I'm going to be completely... screwed unless I get really lucky, right? So I'm going to have to keep that for there. So that's option 1 for me at the moment. Limitless quarters, wildcard semis. The only other option... I don't know what the other option is. I mean, the other option is I'd have to change my mind and play both in Matchday 2 and Matchday 3. And, a Matchday 3 suddenly presents itself as the one to play it or something. I don't know. Because it's going to come around like that, isn't it? Matchday 2 and Matchday 3. Yeah, look, I'm going to leave it like that. I think Limitless quarters, wildcard semis is what I'm going to stick with for now. I will do a little bit more research into that. But, I mean, I don't know. Comment below. Do you think Matchday 2 fixtures are looking like the time to Limitless? I don't. And I think that's the key point. I know I said this, but a chip to strategy in this game is all about where you're going to play your Limitless. Because sometimes we can think, chip strategy, it's really hard to think about. What am I going to do? It's really complicated. No, it's not. Work out where the Limitless goes, and in reality, there's only 3 options. You're not going to play it in the final. You're not going to play it in the semi-final. If you do, I mean, it could do better, but it's not optimal because you're only picking from 4 teams or 2 teams, right? So, and by the final, everyone can pick, if you've played these games before, you'll know, everyone basically picks the same team for the final. You can afford kind of the maximum team really anyway because they fit into a £105 million budget because you're only picking from 2 teams and each team only has a certain amount of premium assets. So I don't think you're going to play in the semi-final. Quarter-final is the one at the moment for me because Matchday 2 and Matchday 3 don't appeal. And so I've kind of got here by process of elimination that I'm going to have to go Limitless quarterfinals. And if you do that, the wildcard has to go semi-finals. Let me know if you come up with a better chip strategy or if I've missed something. Maybe, one option, which I'm probably going to keep in the back pocket, is that I just see how the tournament goes. I see how much Day 1 goes. But the issue with that is, you have to decide before the tournament, really, because if you're going to play the Limitless and the wildcard in the group stage, then you're building your Matchday 1 team for just 1 week, and it makes a huge difference to who you pick, right? You probably wouldn't then, I probably wouldn't have Scott McTominay in my team against Germany if I thought I was only doing 1 week. I'd probably go, well, Scotland, let's be honest, they are probably going to lose, so let's pick 3 Germany assets, because I know I can just get rid of them anyway. And Scotland have better fixtures after that. That's why I've got McTominay. Interesting. I think that's where I'm at. Look, thank you very much for watching and listening. Please do like, subscribe, comment below with your questions. Maybe I'll do another video on chip strategy. I probably will before the tournament because I'll probably change my mind. But at the moment, I've kind of talked myself through it on this video. And tell me whether you agree. Genuinely, I want to know. Because sometimes with chip strategy, it can be I mean, this isn't too complicated, I don't think. But sometimes you can quite easily miss something and go, someone makes a different suggestion and it's, oh, of course, right? So, yeah, let me know, comment below, and yeah, see you on the next video. We've got predicted lineups out now for groups A and B. We've got C and D coming. We've got how to play videos. We've got my first couple of drafts, which, by the way, will change based on my chip strategy, like all yours should. Your team, what that you pick for going into the tournament should change drastically depending on what chip strategy you are employing. Right, thank you very much. See you on the next video. Cheers.